And we're back. You know what I was going to be?
Yay! A subscriber!
Thank you, Antwane. Appreciate you joining us and being a subscriber. He's on the show and he subscribes. Awesome indeed. I did want to go ahead and say, I was going to put the snack pack intro in there, but I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and I left the regular intro on there. So it's a Lakers Fast Break now. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Plus, again, I have been doing a lot of things behind the scenes. So for $2.99 a month as a member, the Lakers Fast Break, you will be getting some stuff in the not too distant future that will be members first. So if you're a member, you never know. Might get some good stuff coming your way right here from your friends at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. And big shout out to Vari, our good friend from Australia, Sports Baby, who actually got up at 1 o'clock at his time in the morning to go ahead and show you guys on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, the game that we're going to talk about a little bit right here with Slovenia and Israel as well. Gregory, truly appreciate you joining us. Tough So, appreciate you joining us as well. I put the theme for today was actually based off some of the comments from the previous couple shows, is that you guys out there get a little bit concerned with Luka Doncic playing so much, playing so well. Yay, that's great, but playing so much as well for Slovenia as they won today in, I believe, his fifth game, 106-96 in their Group D finale earlier today, scoring 37 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals, 4 of 11 from 3, and 12 of 21 from the field. Really good performance again. Slovenia is going to face Italy in the round of 16 as it continues on Sunday, but you guys seem a little bit concerned that he is doing a little bit too much with training camp, or if he's still doing it, the LeBron training camp coming around the corner. And here today to go ahead and discuss the Lakers, Luka Doncic, where they stand, his thoughts on the team, plus a little tidbit on the Atlanta Hawks as well, as a guy who writes about the Atlanta Hawks and about the Los Angeles Lakers. Please go ahead and check out his great work on the Atlanta Hawks at Fansided, and also as well as the Los Angeles Lakers beat writer at The Lead. It is Antwane Willis Jr. Antwane, great to have you finally on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Glassford. I'm definitely aware of what you guys do, so it's an honor to be here. Always love talking about the Lake Show. Always talking about hoops in general. So definitely got a lot to talk about tonight. You literally kicked it off right, talking about Luka's performances. I thought he looked great today against Israel, and even addressing what people have been discussing, which has been his recent activity in the Eurobasket. I think it's been great for him. I think everyone has the tremendous shape that he's in now after working so hard with that strict diet, those 2-a-day workouts this offseason. I think he really, really took what JJ said to heart. And JJ talked about getting in championship shape after they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I think that he himself wants to really test out this new agile body of his, and I think he's looked great. Of course, and I actually wrote it in an article about I think about a month ago now, just talking about Luka's chances to win MVP this year, which he announced it's at like plus 350, right behind like Jokic and SGA. Of course, literally two of the best players in the league. And I think even mentioning those MVP odds, it shows what the insiders think about Luka this year, just seeing what he's doing in the Eurobasket thus far. And if he was able last year even to average 28 points with 8 rebounds and 8 assists a game, with him being quote unquote out of shape the way that he was, I think this Luka with a fire lit under him, I think we're literally going to see the best Luka Doncic we've ever seen in his entire career. And like I say that after him in 2024, he averaged like over 30 a game, with like 8 rebounds and 9 assists back then. And of course, we know he made the finals with the Dallas Mavericks. So we know he can lead a team. We know he plays winning basketball. And I think now he's about to hit an even higher level with a better physicality. Now he can go a hard 48 minutes to the hole, both sides of the floor. He's looked pretty good on defense, if I do say so myself. Had some pretty good highlights against Israel today, in my opinion. Especially having those 3 steals, as you did mention. I think the way he sees the game on defense, he always saw it good, just having the high IQ he does have. But I think now with this new agile body, he's able to act quicker. His reflexes have gotten faster. And I think we're going to see the best Luka Doncic we've ever seen this season. Only reason he might not average like 30 plus is because he's playing with someone named LeBron James, who just got done averaging 24 points a game himself at 9 years old. And he's playing with another 20 point per game scorer in Austin Reeves. And, he has a new cast of characters with DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, especially Ayton, who we've seen average 16 points over the course of his 7-year NBA career. So I think we could see Luka average around like probably a number similar to this year, like how he averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. It'll probably be something similar to that, if not 30 points a game, because Luka really wants to try to bring home that MVP this year.
Once again, I'm on with Antwane Willis Jr. Please go ahead and check out the great work he's doing today, covering the Atlanta Hawks for Fansided, and also as well covering the Los Angeles Lakers at The Lead. Truly appreciate him joining us. Truly appreciate you joining us as well, watching as far as out there. Please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications so when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. And Antwane, let me ask you this. Okay, you've caught our show now, caught our channels, and you're still here, which is for us a bonus, because that's always good. Once you hear Joe a few minutes, you never know if people are going to stay or people are going to go. So I cannot thank you enough for staying. And in doing so, though, we have some pretty pointed opinions on the Lakers, how they did this offseason, and their prospects for this season upcoming. So with that, I want to hear your thoughts in regards to how you feel the offseason went. I know that some people, like myself, wished Rob Pelinka would have gone more all in. Seeing how Luka is starting his prime, 26 years old, right now, seeing how, the fact that you don't know how many years of Luka in his prime you will get. Could it be 5? Could it be 7? Could it be 10? You don't know. You just don't know. But each time seems to me like a shot that you need to take in full at a world championship with him playing at an extremely high level. I do like the fact that they got some 2, in fact 3, very low risk, high possibly reward type options in DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia. Absolutely. If you got them, if you get those players on the cheap, why not? Absolutely. I just felt in some cases, I think they could have done a little more. I think they could have done a little more to shore up certain parts of the team that maybe would make them even more attractive this upcoming season. But in your thoughts, how do you feel this offseason went, knowing that the Lakers have also the timeline of wanting to have the 26 and 27 salary cap summers open for possibly getting new talent in?
So I think there's so many layers here to what they did this offseason. I guess we could go ahead and start with the most important thing was them encapsulating and securing their future with the extension of Luka Doncic. We signed a 3-year, $165 million deal. He's making $46 million this upcoming season at 26 years old, and I do think he is worth every penny. So there's no strife in this contract at all. I actually thought it was kind of good, quote unquote, team friendly for the Lakers, you could say, seeing what Luka was worth. He could have gotten like 229 million fully if he wanted to get it from somebody else, which I definitely think they would have paid for it. But we know that he wants to stay in Los Angeles, and I think the $165 million extension allows them to also go out and get more talent and build them around him for the future. So I thought it was a great team-friendly deal to get Luka Doncic, a player of his caliber, for the future. He'll be about 30 when the contract's about to end and when they want to extend it with the player option. So they got their start for the future, and I do think he's going to come out with a big year this season, which is why I did mention off the top that I think he took JJ's message to heart with him saying we have to get in championship caliber shape, and I think he's 100% aware of the situation with him becoming the franchise player here. I've seen Luka, of course. When he was playing for the Mavericks, he was a superstar back then, but he's been in the media so much, doing so many appearances, like when he went out to Greece for that Jordan brand event. He's just been everywhere this offseason. Like he went on that whole tour by going to Chicago, New York, LA. For the Jordan tour too. So I think he's fully taking in this new role, becoming the face of this illustrious franchise. So that was a great 5-star accomplishment for the Lakers for their future this offseason. And when it comes to LeBron, I feel like that was the second most substantial thing, was that they did not figure out a deal for LeBron this year. He's coming into this year on a $52 million 1-year deal with the Lakers because he did pick up his player option. Indeed, it did come out during the summer league that Paul and LeBron did not ask for an extension, but nor did the Lakers offer one. So I do think that they are having discussions behind the scenes that they're not just going to divulge for the public to hear. But I think right now, with LeBron being 40 years old, he just got done averaging 24 points with like 7.8 rebounds and 8.2 assists per game. So he's still playing at an extremely high level for a 40-year-old. But I think they're wondering about like the near future, like how he's going to look at 41, 42. Father Time is undefeated, and it is inevitable that LeBron will start to slow down. Now, his slowing down might be 20 points with 8 rebounds and 7 assists, but do they think LeBron is worth that when they think they could replace his impact on the floor with the role players that could just complement Luka nicely? And even getting to that, what I just said, I feel like they have that now for the future by signing Marcus Smart, by signing DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, everyone knows about DeAndre Ayton's motor issues and like motivation problems and stuff like that. We saw at the media day how motivated he was, the quotes that he gave the media, like just knowing how everyone thinks about him and his personality, being in the league for as long as he has as a former number 1 overall pick. I think he's yet to make an all-star team, even after making the finals with the Phoenix Suns. So I think for him individually, we know how big of an opportunity that this is. And he even said, quote unquote, that it fuels me knowing what everyone, of course, is saying about him and the expectations they had for him and what they think about him currently. So for DeAndre Ayton, I think him and Luka are going to make a great pairing. I do like his ability to pick and roll to the basket. It's one of Luka's most athletic centers that he's ever played with. We saw what Derek Lively did for Luka as soon as he came in, and Daniel Gafford as well, as being in that pick and roll. I don't think Aiden's ever going to be able to really shoot threes or anything like that, but his athleticism, it's going to work so well with Luka out in transition, getting on the fast break. They really like those fast offenses, like how he played in Phoenix with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. We've seen that Andre Ayton really needs is a world-class point guard, and he arguably has the best point guard in the league right now playing alongside him. So I think Ayton's going to complement Luka really nicely. I think Ayton's the X factor for the Lakers this year. Just being their starting center this year, we knew that was their most significant weakness last year in the playoffs, apparently, versus the Timberwolves. So I think everything really rides on Ayton downplaying the 5, how he'll impact the game defensively, offensively, even with his lack of 3-point shooting, how he'll impact the offense. And I think that's the biggest thing for them, their X factor, if you will. And we did see them add more shooting with Jake LaRavia. I like Jake LaRavia, the former Memphis Grizzly. I think he's going to come out, be a really good piece in the corner for Doncic off the bench, be good in that second unit with a player like Austin Reeves as well, who can slide to playing the point guard in that second unit when Luka's on the bench. And I think that Jake's really going to shine off the bench with his 3-point shooting, like how we did in Memphis all those years. I do think he is a pro. And I think just with this role in particular, you won't have to create much, won't have to do too much of that. Really just play good perimeter defense, get to the corners, pop some threes. He's a proven 3-point shooter. So I think Jake LaRavia is going to come out and have a good season. He's 24 years old, on a $6 million deal for this year. He's getting paid $6 million. So I think he's on a good contract for them as well for his services. And yeah, the new acquisition of Marcus Smart, of course. Now, obviously, the former Defensive Player of the Year, but everyone's a little skeptical of how he'll perform in Los Angeles after those years in Washington and in Memphis. I just think the injuries. I mean, obviously it was a big damper for Marcus, but I think it was also like some motivation issues as well. Just being in those situations, being in Washington, just knowing he's going to fade into obscurity in the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and now you're playing in sunny Hollywood, so on a proven contender, and he's 100% aware of the situation. And we've seen how he has performed in big spots. He's played for the longtime rival, the Celtics, so we've seen how he's performed in big spotlights after playing for the Celtics for 9 years. He's been groomed in a championship pedigree. He wasn't able to win a ring with them, unfortunately, but he did show that he is a winning player. He does impact the game in a positive light. So I thought they did pretty good. Most ESPN, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, winning predictions I've looked at have the Lakers winning at least 53 games, at least 52 games this year. I think anything under 50 games would just be a massive disappointment. I think it's highly unlikely, though. As I pull up ESPN's list right now on an article they just released a few days ago on August 27th, they have the Lakers as the 6th seed, going 50-32. Right under the Clippers, who will also be 50-32 as the 5th seed. Now, in my opinion, that's just the matter of this Western Conference being absolutely just ridiculous. With the Denver Nuggets, with the Houston Rockets. We just saw the Rockets get Kevin Durant. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they're only going to get better with Anthony Edwards improving every single year. We saw them eliminate the Lakers in the playoffs last summer. So if they face off with LA, we know they'll probably have bit of confidence knowing how their meeting went last time. But I do think the Lakers can go over 50 games. I think they can win at least 54 games this year, go about 54-28, something like that. But how did you personally feel about the acquisitions they made?
Well, I'll start off with the question from Mission 24. He says, do you all agree with the B+ rating for Jake LaRavia? I guess that was given, assuming by ESPN or another outlet. I'll just say this. There's good and bad with Jake LaRavia. I mean, obviously, he's a guy on a $6 million contract, relatively inexpensive, 2-year deal. You can get rid of it if he doesn't pretty easily, if he doesn't pan out. He's a guy that we saw is on the upswing. That's the good news. Last year, he really had a good season overall between the two teams, between Memphis and Sacramento, shot 40%. He can defend a little bit on the perimeter, and he does rebound well on the offensive boards, more for a guy that his size than the average. So there are some good things you want to take away from it. For the bad things, it's concerning, is that you hope he is a guy on the upside, that he learned his lesson, because of the fact that beforehand, Memphis had pulled their 4th-year option from him because his first 2 seasons were not meeting expectations. So you're hoping and you're banking that the 1 year that he has had, that's good, that's promising, is going to lead continuously to more, and that he'll be a good contributor for the Lakers going forward. So I'm going to give it about a B right now. I think I know some Johnny is in this chat saying B-. I'm going to give it right around B. Because again, I don't know what to expect from him, if the rise will continue, or if it revert back to the mean to where we saw in Memphis, Antwane.
Now, let me ask you about Mr. LaRavia just before we move on to DeAndre Ayton, because I would love to hear what you have to say about Ayton, of course. Jake did shoot 42% from 3 this year and be 23 years old. We saw him average 7 points, 4 boards, 2 assists a game, shooting 48% overall. But we know he'll mainly be utilized behind the arc alongside Doncic this year. So I wanted to know, do you think he could, based off his age and his 3-point shooting prowess, do you think he could be on the Lakers for a long term? Like, do you think he's a part of the Luka Lakers core for the duration of Luka's contract as we get to 2028, 2029 in those years? Like, do you think he could really improve on the team being so young, but already being a great shooter and things of this nature?
I think if anybody sticks out, it will be him. If that could stay long term, I think that the only options really for the team that might stay with them long term is Laravia, or if somehow he gets his head back on straight, Dalton Connect. But I'm not going to count on Dalton Connect just yet because he is. Let's just say he's a little bit out there as far as what we've seen, especially this past summer. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media again. Great to have you here, my friend. I know you want to talk Hawks there for you here in a second. I got Antwane Willis, who writes for Fansided on the Hawks. So you got some Hawks questions on this, but to fill out the questionnaire of any players I think that might stay with it. If DeAndre Ayton pops, once again, if he finally realizes his true potential, he is the one factor that could be in there. But he might want to go ahead, grass is greener on the other side if he goes ahead and cashes out and goes somewhere else if he has a really productive season. But the one player that could be a long-term keeper is Jake LaRavia, because I think Austin Reeves, even Austin Reeves, I know there's talk about him wanting to be re-signed to something long-term. Some people say he's not a great fit alongside Luka. The defense is an issue. He doesn't want to come off the bench anymore because he sees himself as a starter. That whole thing, I think that probably will come to a head at some point. And the Lakers will have to make a decision whether or not they want to commit to him or not. And my guess is not. My guess is they'll go ahead and find some way to either I hope they don't let him go for nothing, but maybe if the Lakers feel they can upgrade their team, can utilize him in a trade, maybe at the trade deadline. But we'll see how it plays out from there. But LaRavia, of anybody, might have the one that might be able to stick with Luka long term.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I was just curious about your opinion. Yeah, like I did say though, ESPN does have the Lakers finishing 50 and 32. Of course, if I think they're gonna be over or under, I'm taking the over all day. My prediction, I do think they'll probably be like 55 and 27. Something like that. I do think they're going to prove that Luka's here to stay for the future. And not only stay, but they're going to be winning for a long time. And that just opened up the door for however long it takes for him to win an MVP. If he can bring it home in the same era as a Shea, as a Jokic. I would say Giannis, but we know the Bucks. I don't know what's going on in Milwaukee right now. So I do think that Luka's main competition for the MVP this year will end up being Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. We saw the Nuggets get Cam Johnson. They got Bruce Brown back. So I think they're going to be really good themselves this year too. We know Jokic brings to a team as long as he has good shooters and solid defenders around him. He could be at least a third seed. So, and I think Oklahoma, they've only gotten better. They extended all three of their centerpieces for the future. So we're gonna see what happens with them. But I think Luka for sure can take home the MVP. But it's an honor to meet you, man. I haven't got your name yet, man. I'm sorry about that. It's Antwane.
It's Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here. He has got some Atlanta Hawks questions for you, my friend, because you also write for the Atlanta Hawks for Fansided. So, Legend, this portion of the program, I turn over to you, my friend.
I appreciate it. But first, I want to say, always nice to be another journalist. I graduated with my journalism degree too, so I know what it's like to be in that field. Worked in the news industry for a little while myself.
Pleasure to meet you, man. It's an honor.
Same here. But I got some good questions I gotta ask you. I gotta ask the biggest question. Is this?
He's been waiting, Antwane. He has been waiting for this.
I can't wait, man. It's a big year. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, so the Hawks always a special place in my heart. So I would love to talk about the Hawks all night. Let's do it for sure.
Same. I don't even live that far from Atlanta. Atlanta's like home for me.
For sure. Let's do it.
First question I gotta ask: do you think this is our best chance to get to the finals this year?
With the Hawks this year in particular, even referring back to the same ESPN article that I was just using, they have the Hawks as the 4th seed this year, going 47 and 35. I think last year the Hawks finished we were like 40 and 42. So off the rip, that's going to be a significant jump from what they did last year. Just having 7 more wins than they did. But similar to the Lakers, when it comes to the Hawks, I'm taking the over. On their performance on anything people have them doing this year. I think they're gonna be better than that. Like if people have them it's like how ESPN has them winning 47 games. I think this Atlanta team could win at least 50 games, go 50 and 32. This season for the Hawks, to answer your question directly, can they win the finals this year? I think the season is just about them really gaining the respect, really showing that Trey can lead a team. So obviously he's done it. And he's done it in the past, how he did in 2021 with players like Danilo Gallinari, DeAndre Hunter. It's a real solid core. He had some real grizzled veterans on that team, and we've seen that when he does have, I'll say, solid pieces around him, he can generate so much offense that he can get a team that far into the playoffs. And with his roster now, I think I've been writing in my pieces covering the Hawks for Soaring Down South. Shout out to the boys at Fansided, most definitely. That this team in particular, outside of Dominique, of course, like the 86-87 Hawks, you could say. And the Hawks are pretty good with Dikembe too. When they were down, like when Dikembe was down here as well. But I do think this team in particular has the most potential any Hawks team has ever had, just based off if people look at the writing on the wall. It was a quote unquote down year for the Hawks. We know they lost Jalen Johnson back in January, on January 23rd versus the Toronto Raptors. He was averaging 19 points and 10 rebounds with 5 assists a game before he got hurt. That's after 36 games. Jalen Johnson was already having an all-star caliber season. They were the 5th seed with a 22-19 record. So they were just fighting in the midst of the season. They're definitely on pace to try to get out of that play-in spot, even with what they had last season, before they made all those trades or for the trade deadline when they lost Jalen Johnson, and they had to move players like DeAndre Hunter. Then they got Karis LeVert, George Niang, Terrence Mann, all these players that are no longer on the team anyway. So clearly they went through a lot last season. So just getting Jalen back, that's already a massive cog in the machine that's going to be massive for what the Hawks do this year. So that getting Jalen back alone, that's going to bump them at least to 47 wins around there. But when you add in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, Kristaps Porzingis, who's playing phenomenal in the Eurobasket right now, and so many people were worried about that based off what we've in the past, Kristaps, his illnesses and some of his health issues. That has not bothered him in the slightest. He's driving to the rim, absorbing contact. He just had 16 points and 7 rebounds against the Czech Republic, and that was all in the first half. He only stopped scoring really because they pulled him out the game, which they should have. I had no complaints with that. Absolutely, because it was already a blowout victory for Latvia, but he's looking great in the Eurobasket. So it's already showing that the investment they made getting Kristaps Porzingis, it's already has a good omen for the Hawks. He's not out there missing from deep, and he's getting MVP chance. He had 21 points and 9 rebounds a game prior to that. So he looks like he's going to fit outstandingly alongside Trae Young. I think he's going to be pretty good for certain with their ability to both spread the floor. Not only can Trae do pick and rolls now, he can also do pick and fades with all of his big men, with Onyeka Okongwu, who's been getting his 3-point shot better, Asa Newell, who is shooting threes in the summer league. So this is Trae Young's first time having all big men who can shoot threes. His shooting guard, his backcourt mate, led the league in steals this year and won most improved player. Zachary Risachet, even because of course he was still the runner-up for the Rookie of the Year award. He averaged 12 points a game this year. Of course, he just had some consistency problems here and there, but he was the only rookie to have multiple 30-point performances. We even saw him have 33 points against the New York Knicks, a solidified team in the Eastern Conference. Even how they were last year, they beat the Celtics in the playoffs and all that. So we've seen Zachary have these amazing flashes against top teams in the East. So they have a lot to be excited about for sure. Like I said, I think this is one of the biggest, if they still had John Collins, man, John
man.
Collins, who, seriously, who's supposed to have a big year for the Clippers this year after having a great year in Utah, finally healing up from his injuries with his hand and stuff like that. I'm happy for John Collins, the former pickup, from the Hawks, of course. If they still have him with his defense, with his athleticism and his 3-point shooting and his lob threat, of course, he had to go for Jalen Johnson to rise. And I think Jalen, not being biased, I think Jalen Johnson is a better player than John Collins. Of course, he has to stay healthy and really prove it to the world. He can play, 50 plus games, 60 plus games, really play at that all-star level all year. And on a positive note, with the Hawks, yeah, man, I think purely being objective here, I do think that they're going to have a great year. I think they're going to win at least 50 games. It's 50 games or bust, honestly. I'd be severely disappointed if they don't win 50 games. Seeing how Tyrese Halliburton's out for the year, Jason Tatum's out for the year. Both of these teams, they did beat.
Exactly.
Both of these teams, they did beat during the regular season. So I don't think, they're ducking anybody or anything like that. The Hawks even beat the Celtics last year with no Trae Young when he was out that game, and Jalen Johnson had a triple-double, and Dyson had 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. And also I didn't even mention Dyson was the defensive player of the year runner-up. So, and he's only 22 years old. So the Hawks have so much around them right now, around the league leader in assists with Trae Young. So you have all of these offensive and defensive weapons now alongside, in my opinion, the best passer in the world. It's all systems go for the Hawks. Trae's never really had no health issues like that, so he's definitely going to be present on the team this year for certain. It's just about Kristaps, him playing they need him at least 40 games from Porzingis. And I think Risa Shea is going to have a big year. It's getting stronger over the offseason. Everyone has seen all the pictures about him getting stronger and stuff. I think Zachary's going to have a great year. He's playing in the Eurobasket. He's having his struggles here and there, but I think it's more of a rotation issue, how they're utilizing him over and with the French national team. We saw Alex Sarr. He got hurt, unfortunately, so hopefully his usage goes up a little higher for the duration of the tournament. But I do think that all the Hawks are going to play really good this year. In my opinion, I'm looking forward the most to witnessing Dyson Daniels again this year. I want to see his two-way ability, because I think because he averaged he went from 5 points to 14 points a game this year. So if Dyson Daniels averaged 17 points a game, along with 3.5 steals and 5 assists and 5 rebounds on top of 17 points, I think Dyson Daniels is the one people aren't talking about enough. I think he's the one who can want to be an all-star. He has what it takes to win a defensive player of the year. He said his biggest goal was to make the first team all defense last year during media day in September of 2024. And he went out and made the all defensive first team. He was the youngest member. He had a historic season with the steals, over 100 steals, and it was just a crazy year for Dyson. And all these things I said with the Hawks, they didn't make the playoffs this year, unfortunately. They lost in the play-in after 2 opportunities to try to make the playoffs. They lost to both Florida teams with the Heat and the Magic. So, like I said, this year is about the Hawks gaining respect.
Right.
Even if they don't make the finals, as long as they just can make the second round of the playoffs and they get bumped out, whatever. They have that Pelicans pick.
Thank you to the Pelicans for doing what they did.
So even in the future, even when the season is over, even if they maybe don't win a ring that next year, anything like that, come next year draft cycle, they have so much to look forward to. Every mock draft I've seen, the Pelicans are in the top 4. Of course, that's between the Pelicans and the Bucks, but it's the Pelicans pick as of right now, and it's unprotected at that. So that will indeed go to the Atlanta Hawks. And the Pelicans are expected to have a down year. Jonte Murray's still coming back from injury. We'll see what Zion does. They have Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. They have a good team on paper for sure still. But I think with the Hawks, the draft, they got that to look forward to. They have this new young team. But this year, it's just about them gaining respect, and I think they're gonna do that. I think Trey's gonna have another All-Star caliber year, make it without having without needing an injury reserve or anything like that. I think he's gonna show he's one of the best point guards in the league and reestablish himself as that. Not getting the respect he has deserved, not making Team USA, stuff like that. So I think this will be when Trae Young can finally get himself in that light and dispel any rumors about him ever leaving, because we know he still has to get a contract extension. We saw Luka get an extension, De'Aaron Fox got an extension. So Trey's next. Still, I think he knows that he somehow. I mean, I get he has to prove himself again this year, and I think he's gonna do that because the moment they pull that trigger, committing all their future to Trae Young, there's no going back from that. That's
Right.
$229 million they're gonna give him, and like just with everything they have around him now, this is the team they got to extend Dyson still. The moment they extend Dyson, their future is set. Jalen's already on a 5-year deal. Yika has like 4 years left. Like their future is set if they can extend Trae Young and Dyson Daniels, that backcourt alongside their two ridiculous wings and their good center rotation. Like, it's a lot to look forward to in Atlanta. But we'll see about a championship, though. That's hard. That's really hard. The Cavs are still here. The Cavs are going to make it difficult for sure in the Eastern Conference. They're probably going to win at least 58 games, 59 games. Again, still stacked. They have the reigning defensive player of the year. I get it. All that kind of nothing now, seeing how they got bounced in the playoffs last year. But I think Kenny Atkinson's going to want to bounce back from that performance. And so, we still have the Knicks, the Magic. The Magic are probably the Hawks' biggest threat, in my opinion, just how they're in our region. And I think because they're a young team too. They're the youngest team to be that good in the position they are in the Eastern Conference. I think everyone's expecting another big year from Orlando. They lost both their stars in the year at one point last year with Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero. So the Hawks still got some competition, but I think they can get in that third or fourth battle. I think they're going to go back and forth with Orlando for that third seed. And if they can get that fourth seed and play the Pistons in the playoffs, who are supposed to be the fifth seed this year, they have a chance. But I think they can beat anyone in the playoffs in a 7-game series. Trae Young has proven he rises to the occasion. He is a playoff player. He does not disappear in the playoffs. And now he's around other good players who need that opportunity to show they're good in the playoffs, like Dyson Daniels and, Zachary Russachet and stuff like that. We know Kristaps has a whole ring on his finger. So we're not really too worried about that. But yeah, I know it's out for a while though. I would love to hear what you have to say about the Hawks this year, man. What do you think their record's going to be? And who personally do you have the highest hopes for on the entire roster this year?
I got us winning 55 games. I think we're going to hit that 50 mark this year. I think this team is good enough to hit 50. I think this Hawks team is going to take advantage of a very weakened Eastern Conference right now with the Celtics going through a down year, Indiana down year, Knicks, they're going to be Knicks. They're going to do their thing, choke as they always like to do. Cleveland going to still win their 58, 60 games, but I think the Hawks going to shock the world. We got them winning 47. I think they're going to hit that 50-plus mark. I got them at that 55-ish range, and I really think they're going to take advantage of this conference. I'm thinking the person that I really think I really got high hopes on showing up for this Hawks team, I really believe in that Ricky. I really believe in Zachary going to have it bounce up here. I think it's going to be the year he's going to have a chance to flourish because he got all these other veterans coming on the team now, and he can take off some of that load off of him now, and it's just less pressure. People perform better with less pressure. And I think that's what's going to happen in this situation. And I think a healthy Porzingis as well going to be very beneficial. Very beneficial. Having that big who can spread the flow. And man, my favorite pickup out of everybody this summer was getting Nard from Minnesota. I love that pickup. I love that pickup. I just think this team, they can do it. And I'm thinking that they can beat anybody in the East. I really think this year, this Atlanta Hawks team, it's going to be one of them sleepers that can come out of nowhere and catch a lot of people. So
let me ask you this, guys. Johnny put in the chat earlier, about Dyson Daniels. And I think he has to be a big key in all this. I don't expect him to average 3 steals a game. It's the first time anybody averaged 3 steals a game, I think, in decades, if I remember correctly. So even if it gets you 2.5, obviously that's tremendous. He's still leading the league regardless. But his shooting and his ability, like you said, about the to diversify his game, Antwane, you kind of pointed out, is you're eager to see if he can do that. His shooting has got to be a key to some of that. So how far do you think it'll improve? It was 31% his first 2 seasons in the league, moved up to 34% last year from beyond the arc. Do you think, in the words of Johnny, do you think it has a chance of going up even higher?
Me personally, I mean, yeah, because like I mean, I thought we saw it in Paris. Like he was letting it fly for Australia, like even adapting to the shooting guard that that role then alongside his national teammate Josh Giddey, of course, who I think that they make a good pairing themselves. I thought they didn't go their way in Australia, of course, but I thought they still looked pretty good out there in my opinion. But for this year, he shot 34% from 3 this year throughout the duration of the regular season. That was after 76 games played. So it's a pretty big sample size. Got up to almost 35% from 3. Shoots 32.7 for his career. So it is getting better every year. I think just with his hunger and determination, like how I mentioned, his number one goal this year was to make the all defensive first team. He said that verbatim during the media day back 2024, and he made it happen like that. So I think that now that he also said it during like his most improved player acceptance interview, his biggest thing is just about execution in terms of improving his performance on the court and stuff like that. So I think for Dyson, the game just comes so easy. I wrote in a piece that we just published today about how the Hawks can kind of even out that Dejounte Murray trade with the Spurs and stuff like that, with how they lost an all-star guard in Murray, but you have a generational defender now in Dyson Daniels, because we know the Murray trade was supposed to be such a big thing for Trae Young back then. And we know it, like they're like their 2 seasons, the record was like 77 to 87. Across the 2 years with DeJounte Murray on the team. So for Trae Young to get in replacement of DeJounte Murray, another great guard like this, who could go on to rise to an all-star level. He literally wears the same jersey number 5. And I think he's been playing honestly great. I think, I don't throw around the word generational. I do think that Dyson Daniels is going to show on to be generational defender. Seeing how things go with the Hawks, I think every GM in the league is monitoring the situation to see if they can get in his ear. He's expressed the desire to want to stay in Atlanta. He likes the system. This is the place where he became a star, so to speak. Definitely became one of the league's most sought after guards for certain. Definitely one of the best defenders. He was literally the defensive player of the year runner-up as a guard at that, which it's extremely difficult. But to answer your question, like I did say, he did average 34% from beyond the arc this year. So I think with going into this year, I think he's aware that's how he does get to the next level, is improving his offensive game. So if I had to estimate, I do think that he can probably shoot. I think he can get up to like a 38% 3-point shooter. Definitely relatively consistent. I think him being a 40% 3-point shooter, it's gonna be kind of hard, because I think he puts so much attention on the defensive end that, like, if he starts to work on it, he's a professional, so he can improve anything and do anything on the court, of course. But I think that like he zeroes in on defense so much in like his personal like training regimen that if he starts to increase in the 3-point like to that caliber, I think it's gonna kind of take away from like his attention to detail on defense. So I think where Dyson's his ceiling is on the 3-point line, I think, like I said, he shot 34% this year. I think Dyson could probably shoot like I said, like 36%, 37%, which every percentage counts from beyond that arc. So if a player of Dyson's caliber on defense could be a 37% 3-point shooter as well, in my opinion, that is a two-way player. In my opinion, he is getting better with his penetration, getting to the basket with his teardrop. He was using that floater a lot this year. He's a big guard at 6'7", and he was a point guard originally before playing alongside Trae Young. So he's getting better as a guard in general. when he's in that number one role with his distribution and getting better with the shoot as well. So it's like it's honestly a great sign when you have a player of his caliber on defense be able to show that potential on offense. Like I said, when they played the Celtics that game, Jalen Johnson had a triple double, but Dyson also had, like I said, it was like 27 points with like 7 rebounds and 6 assists, and that was him at the one that game because Trey was hurt. So he has shown the ability. He can hop in the point guard role in a heartbeat with incredible versatility. And he's still improving every year on defense. But I do think he can improve the 3-point shot. And I do believe what I said at the beginning of my take. What Dyson is the biggest X factor for the entire team this year. We know what Trae Young can do. He has the squad. But I want to see how far Dyson Daniels can really take his abilities in the NBA at 22 years old, playing the way that he has.
All right. Yeah, great job, you two.
And even then,
appreciated.
Legend, I just wanted to ask you, in Mr. Glasser, I'm so sorry about that. I just had to
all
ask.
good.
I just wanted to ask Legend. I wanted to ask you personally, do you think Dyson can become like an all-star in Atlanta, like an official all-star? Because if they're winning at the top of the East and he's still like even Mr. Glassford said, if he's at like 2.8 steals, 2.7, something like that, do you think Dyson Daniels, he averaged 14 points, six rebounds and 4 assists a game by shooting 49% from the field. He shot 34% 3, and he led the league in steals at 3 a game. So knowing what he can do on defense, do you think he can become an all-star and give Atlanta an official homegrown big 3 down here?
I think he can do it. I think he's shown signs that he can do it. Just looking at the growth every single season, it's like he's getting better and better and better. So I think it's possible. And I think in this year we're gonna see another growth. And I think we're gonna be on the verge of seeing that homegrown, similar to Golden State, that big 3 starting to develop, just like how they will develop all homegrown. So I think he can do it. I think the signs are there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And like the last thing I did want to say, I'm gonna give it to Mr. Glass for the rest of the show.
Sure, all good. Okay.
I just kind of see, because I see Johnny P. DeRosa. I'd be remiss if we didn't just give some love to his Trailblazers. I think the Blazers are good. I think this year, it's just another developmental year for them. I like Shaedon Sharpe. I like Deni Avdija. I like Scoot Henderson still. I think he's still developing at the rate he's supposed to. We saw Chauncey Billups. He got a contract extension, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think the Trailblazers, I do think they will be at the bottom of the West again this year, unfortunately. I think that's just because the West is crazy, though. Do not feel bad about that. Even as I pull up this ESPN article, they have the Blazers going 39 and 43 this year. So they'll be the 11th seed. Unfortunately, that's not in the plan. But I think the Blazers, they're building something special down there by establishing their new culture with Chauncey, who they obviously like with the losses they've taken, but they still want to keep him around for the future. And the 2026 draft is a good draft. So they're building around Scoot Henderson, so I'm excited for the Portland Trailblazers. Really do like Deni Avdija, like I said. I'm excited to see his future. He's playing great in the Eurobasket right now for Team Israel. So I like Deni definitely, and Shaedon Sharpe too, like I said. So I think they're gonna be good, man. You got Drew Holiday now, a champion, a great veteran. So if y'all have anything to say on the Blazers, I would love to hear about it for sure. I had to talk about my man here. Most definitely.
He loves his Blazers, absolutely. At first it was the Kings when he first started as in our chat, but now it's all about the Blazers for him. And Blazers with that young talent, you never know what can happen. But Antwane Willis, appreciate you joining us here. But before we head on out, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, have you got something coming up? Because the last few minutes of the show, I want to give Antwane the chance to do what we call the cheap plug. As you know, Legend, the cheap plug on where you can find all the great things that he's doing. But Legend, cheap plug first goes to you, my friend.
Well, you just check out my channel. I Got Net Sports Media. talk about basketball, football. Just did a show last night talking about the Kawhi Leonard situation and talked a little bit about some college football. Talked about how Archie Manning had a poor performance for Texas, and talked about how Bill Belichick is not looking too pretty starting off in North Carolina right now. As well as talked about my university, Georgia Southern, catching that L to Fresno State and probably finna lose to USC this weekend. But, I digress. But check me out if you like football, you like basketball. We talk about it all. Talk about WNBA. Just announced a few minutes ago. Caitlin Clark is out for the rest of the season. And if you like sports, check me out. I'm here.
Did you catch when Bill kicked out New England Patriots from UNC?
I did not. I missed that part.
Yeah, he has officially kicked them out. Any personnel from New England Patriots from being on campus, I guess, with the North Carolina. So you can take that one for what it's worth. So kind of never saw that day coming, but that day has arrived indeed. But great to always have you here, Legend. I thought as a Atlanta Hawks fan, I would give you some time to talk with Antwane because he does write about the Hawks. He does write about the Lakers. Does a great job at both. But before we head on out, Antwane, again, cheap plug number 2. Where can people find you at all the great places that are out there for your great work indeed?
Most definitely. I'm a reporter, beat writer, for the Atlanta Hawks and Los Angeles Lakers. I cover the Los Angeles Lakers for The Lead Sports Media. If you want, just go on X, known as Twitter formerly, but now known as X. It's at Lakers Lead. Like LEAD, Lakers. Before that, Lakers Lead. We currently have like 104,000 followers on X right now, so just growing every year. We're all excited for this season. Most definitely. I also just interviewed NBA insider Jay Fisher. Is a great guy. I was really excited to get that story. Wrote a piece on that. That's on our main site of The Lead. And you can also see that in my profile on X as well at Antwane Willis Jr. That's my at Antwane Willis Jr. Just like how you see right here, below my face right here, most definitely. And I covered the Hawks for Fansided, fansided.com, where it's located on soaringdownsouth.com. Every single team has a different subsidiary name for the website, and for the Atlanta Hawks, it's called soaringdownsouth.com, where I cover the Atlanta Hawks as well. To just published article literally this morning, like I mentioned earlier, like how the Hawks can level out that brutal 2022 trade when they got DeJounte Murray, it's like Landry Fields, the then GM, had traded. He traded like a 2023 first round pick, 2025 and 2027. So but obviously that went on to be DeJounte Murray, who then went on to be Dyson Daniels. And we also got Asa Newell out of that whole thing. So I covered all that in the article, just about how the Hawks can bounce back from that this year, because that set the franchise back. It almost did, because they definitely bounced back for sure by getting Dyson like that. Everyone knew Dyson was a good defender, but I feel like not many people knew he'd become this. Most definitely. So but cover both teams. Just really excited for the 2025-26 season. I'm gonna be producing articles on both teams year round. Both teams have great storylines this year, with the Hawks getting all these new acquisitions, everyone wanting to see them really finally take the lead. Everyone wants to see Trae Young being a big spotlight this year, being a 26-year-old, 27 when the season starts, 27-year-old leader of a championship contender. I cannot wait to see Trae Young, who averaged 12 assists a game if you round up 11.6. He averaged that much assist with the supporting cast he had last year. So I'm really excited to see Trae Young average like 13 assists a game, 14 assists a game this year. I really want to see what he's going to do in year 8 and prove he is a max player. He can be a 1A player on a championship team. And on the Lakers side, Luka and everything he's done in preparation for this year, looking great in the Eurobasket, losing all this weight, all the new Laker acquisitions with DeAndre Ayton, with Marcus Smart, with Jake LaRavia. We're going to see Dalton Connect. Can he break through that wall and get all that noise out of his ear from that Charlotte Hornets trade that almost happened. And hopefully he can just recover from the performances during the summer league and just clear his head and get ready. Like, it's a lot around both teams this year. And of course, the Lakers have an MVP candidate on as well. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with both franchises. So y'all can just catch my work at Antwane Willis Jr. on my Twitter, linked as well, spelled just like this. And yeah, I'm always open to connecting with anyone. I love talking about the game anytime, anywhere, any place, most definitely. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. If any of you viewers are down here as well, I'm always at the Hawks games, College Park Skyhawk games, try to go to WNBA games. The Dream have looked phenomenal this year. So.
Yeah, I've been to a couple Dream games myself.
Most definitely, yeah, they've been great. Also love the Los Angeles Sparks as well. For any LA fans out there, I like the Sparks too. They lost Cameron Brink. That's the main reason why they're struggling right now, but it's all good because they're going to get some draft picks. So always covering the Atlanta and LA basketball. So yeah, thank y'all so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I love doing this, and it was an honor. Most definitely.
Absolutely, it's an honor having you on, and Legend as well. Once again, it's Antwane Willis Jr., of course, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Please go ahead and make sure you go ahead and check out what he's doing. Antwane Willis at The Lead, and also as well Fansided as well, covering the Atlanta Hawks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Great guys. Please like and subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Plus also make sure in your time of need, please like and subscribe to us as well. It helps. I swear. Really? But yes, if you can go ahead and do that, truly appreciate it. Antwane, I got to get you back on the show during the course of the season to hear your thoughts, although you're always welcome to join us. Just you know how to hit me up. So you're always welcome to join one of our live shows that we do as well. Legend, you're always welcome because you're on sometimes 2-3 times a week with us here. So yes, always glad to have you here. But guys, truly appreciate you joining us. Once again, wanted to go ahead and get an hour into with you guys tonight for the Lakers Fast Break. Looking forward to what we could do over the weekend for you. Coming up, as Luka continues to play, whether we like it or not, are we concerned? A little bit. But as long as he says he's okay, I guess we'll have to deal with it and see him play really well overseas, and we'll continue to talk about it right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.